Hey guys, this is Balu and today in this video I will show how we can create this kind of CGI advertisement videos in Blender and After Effects without using any external plugins or add-ons easily. So hope you guys will find the video useful, and without any further delay, let's start today's video. So here I'm using Blender 4.1. So before starting this video, first of all we need to download some script. So here we will be using this script to export the tracking data from After Effects to Blender, and another script we will be using to import that tracking data into Blender. So here I will leave a link in the description. You need to download both the things. So this is for After Effects. You can see this is export composition data to JSON. So here we need to just download this raw file. So I will download this one, and after that we need to download another file. So I will leave a link in the description for both the files. So this is to import the data from After Effects to Blender. You can see import comp to Blender. So this is Python script. So again, click on this download raw file. After that, in this tutorial I will be using this footage, so thanks to the provider, and also I will be using this 3D model. So this is from Sketchfab. I will leave a link in the description for all the things which I'm using in this tutorial. Thanks for this provider also. And I will be using this HDRA. Leave a link in the description for this HDRA also. So once everything is downloaded, now let's move on to After Effects first. So here let's import our footage. So before to that we need to install the script. So for that, go to this file option, script, come to this install script file. So here we need to select this export composition data to JSON file. So what we have downloaded, right? Select that one, just click on this select. So it will be loaded into this composition. This is saying that it is already existed. So here, do you want to overwrite? So I will skip this one. So after that, once you have done that, just restart the After Effects, and after the go to this file option, scripts, you will find this option here, export composition data. So now let's import our footage here. So right click on this project panel, import file. So here it's in download folder. So go to this downloads, select the footage and import. So now again select the footage and drop it onto this composition. So here you can see we got our footage, right? So now here we got some movement in this footage. So first we need to track the camera. So if your footage is not having any camera movement, you can skip this part. If your footage is having this camera movement or perspective change, we need to track the footage. So in order to track the footage, select this layer, go to this window options, enable this tracker. After that you will find the tracker here. So being selected the footage, click on this track camera. So come to this advanced options and click on this detailed analysis option also, so that we will get some extra data for the tracking. So here the tracking is done and we got some track points, and we got an error of 0.66 pixels, which is okay. So here I will select these track points here, hold left mouse key and select all the track points. Now right click, select this set ground plane or origin. After that again right click, create solid and camera. So now you can see we got a track solid here. So let me rotate this one. So select the track solid, rotation, press R and rotate in x-axis so as to match the perspective. So I think this is fine. And if you want to increase the scaling, we can do that. So I'll increase the scaling. So let's increase the scaling here. So if you want to see clearly, we can apply grid effect. So here let me apply that one. So control spacebar. Here I am using this FX console. So here I will search as grid. So apply this grid option, the border be this much. And if you want to change the color, we can do that. And now if I play this, you can see our track is looking solid. So now using that JSON script, we can export our tracking data to Blender directly without using any add-on. So let me show you how to do that. So now let's select track solid and 3D camera layer, leave the footage, select this track solid and camera layer, go to this file option, come to this script and select this export composition data to json.jsx. Just click on that, and here need to find a location where you want to save the file. So here I will save this as 12345 data, just a random name, and click on this export. So now come to Blender, let's clear this one. So press A and delete. So now we need to install a script add-on for Blender in order to get the tracking data from After Effects. So in order to install that, go to this edit, preferences, come to this add-ons, install and select the file which we have downloaded and install add-on. So enable this one. Okay, save the preferences, close this one. Now go to this file option, import, select this After Effects composition data. So this is the file what I have saved the tracking data. You can see the name 12345 and import a composition. Now if I press 0 on the keyboard, you can see we got our tracking data. So let me expand this one and you can see the keyframes. So now let's import our footage. So select the camera, come to this camera options, enable this background images, expand it, add image, select this movie clip and let's load our footage. So open, come to the downloads. So here I got the footage and open clip. Let's make this opacity 1. So now if I play this, you can see we got our tracking data, but this tracking data is looking bit off because let me show you. So if I select this tracking data, you can see Blender tracking data is starting from 1, whereas After Effects tracking data starts from 0. So now we need to select all the keyframes here, press A to select all the keyframes, and after that press G and move one frame behind so that our tracking data starts from 1. We will get a perfect tracking data. And also let me increase these frames here. So I think I got 538 frames. So I will increase the timeline to 538. So now you can see we got this perfect tracking data. But now if you want to place any object in this scene, it will be placed weirdly. So let me show you. So go to this file. So here I have downloaded that perfume bottle, right? I will import that one. So go to the file, import, it is GLTF, select that one, downloads, perfume scene and import. So if I scale this up, you can see this is not standing on the grid. So the reason is you can see the camera is not aligned properly to the grid. So now we need to adjust that one. So select this tracking solid here first, later hold shift key and select this 3D track camera. Now control P and select this keep transform option. So now select this track solid or let's rotate in x-axis. So now we need to match with the perspective of the grid here. So I think this is fine. You can always see this grid lines here. So we need to match up with this plane. So now you can see this is matching. So now if we place anything in the scene, it will be properly aligned on the grid only. So now again go to this file option, import, select this GLTF, select the file and import and press S. Now you can see it is properly getting on this grid. So now let's bring this aside. So here this is not a single object. So now here you can see. So if I select this one, this got multiple objects here. So this is name. So now we need to create an empty to control this model completely. So first of all, let's bring our cursor. So shift S, cursor to selected so that we got cursor here. So now go to this add empty, select this cube, press S and increase the scaling. Okay. Now select the complete model, select everything. Now hold shift key and select the empty. Now control P and select this second option, which is object keep transform. Now we can control the object with the empty. So if I select the empty, if I move, you can see whole thing is getting moved. So now let's place this on the grid. So let's place it here. Press 0 to see through camera and let's place this just above to the grid here like this. So I think this much is fine. Press 0 and let's move on to this render viewport here. So here the scene is looking dark because there is no light in the scene. Now let's apply HDRI. So go to this world properties, click on this yellow dot, select this environment texture, open. So here I have downloaded the HDRI. So I will select this HDRI, open image. Now you can see we got light in the scene, but our footage is not visible. So in order to get our footage back, go to this render settings, scroll down, film options, enable this transparent. Now we got our footage. Okay. So let's rotate the bottle. So select the empty so that we get that name here. So I think Savage. I think it's Savage only. and let's place this backside GY, and I think let it be here. Now I will duplicate this once again. So select everything, press 3 for side view. Let's select everything here. So I think only this object is selected. Press Shift D to duplicate it. Now let's select the empty, or rotate it here like this. So let's come to here and change this to 90, and let's place this just, and let's place this just above the plane, and let's place this one bottle behind this one. Okay, so I think this is looking good. Now let's duplicate this once again. So right click, let's select this hierarchy, Shift D. So we got another duplicate here. Select the empty. So here I will give a rolling animation for this. So let's rotate this 90 degree, and let's place this. I'll place this here first. Okay, press 0. So now here I want to make this perfume bottle roll towards the camera. So let me check in which axis. So here I only want this Y axis to be operating. So let's lock this X rotation and Z rotation. Select this empty, press I on the keyboard. So in 4.1 it will be adding keyframes to all the properties. That's good. So now let's move on to this 200 frames here, and let's give it some rolls here. So I think this much is fine, and also I will bring this perfume bottle behind the camera. So our camera is here, so that it passes the camera. Now again press I on the keyboard. So now if I come to the starting point and if I play this, you can see we got our rolling animation here done properly. So if I want to get that smooth animation, press T on the keyboard, add linear, so that we will get that constant movement. Or else if you want to leave in Bezier, you can leave that. So you can press T on the keyboard, select this Bezier if you want to have that smooth kind of rolling animation. So now let's change this render engine to cycles. So currently this is in EV, so I will change this to cycles. So before that, let me save the project. So here I have set the project. So now let's change this to cycles, and device, let it be compute. Now select this below plane. We need to make this as shadow catcher to get the shadows. So come to this properties, object properties, scroll down, come to this visibility options, and enable this shadow catcher. So here you can see we got the shadows, right? So I think we need to bring this forward. So select this empty, let's bring this forward. Okay, so let it start from here. So press I on the keyboard once again to add the keyframes. So now if I play this, we got this animation here done properly. But here you can see the shadows are moving or falling this way, but here the shadows are moving in this way. So we need to fix that one now. So for that, go to the shading option, change it to render viewport. So here you can see we got shadows this side, right? So change this to world properties. Instead of object, change it to world. Now let's disable the transparency. So come to this render options and come to the film option and disable this transparent, so that we can see this HDRI. Now select this image or HDRI, press Ctrl+T for node wrangler. So if you're not enable node wrangler, go to this edit, preferences, come to this add-ons and look for node. So enable this node wrangler. After that, select this image node, press Ctrl+T to get this mapping and texture coordinate. So now we need to rotate this Y axis. So if I change the Y value here, so you can see the shadow angle is changing. So here we want the shadow angle to be in this way. So let's make it 85. So I think this is okay, or else let's make it 80. So I think this is fine. So now let's move on to this layout once again. So here we got the shadows properly. So now let's animate this main bottle. So change this to EV once again. Now select this empty to control, or else let's bring these both models forward a bit. So let's bring them here, press 0. So I think this is fine. Now let's animate this one. So select this empty, which is holding this perfume bottle. So here let's move like 150 frames. Add a keyframe in this position so that we got all the keyframes added. Now move to the starting frame, press 0 to see through camera, and let's bring it upwards just outside of this frame, and let's rotate it randomly. So here I will be rotating this randomly. So again press I on the keyboard, add a keyframe. So now if I play this, you can see I got this kind of animation here, which is looking okay, nice. So if you want to still do some other stuff or add any 3D elements, you can do that. So here now let me show you how to render this out in cycles. So come to this render properties. So change this to cycles. So here in render I will be using only 32 samples, and noise threshold also I have made it as 0.1, and by the way default value is 0.001. So I will change this to 0.1, which makes render bit fast, and enable this denoise option also. And if you want to enable this motion blur, where is this? If you want to enable this motion blur, you can do that. And in order to make the render bit fast, come to this light paths, and here reduce the bounces. So I will reduce this to 6 bouncing, and transmission also I will make it 6. Okay, so if your PC can handle large number, you can keep it as default or you can increase that, but my PC can't handle this much of values, so I'm reducing to make the render bit fast. Okay, so now come to this output properties. So by default the resolution set to full HD. I will leave this to full HD only. And render region, enable this render region, crop to render region. Frames per second, we need to select the frames of our footage. So here if I check the frames, so this is the footage. So let me change this to large icons. So here you can see this is the footage. Now right click and properties. So here you can see this is 29.97 frames. So I need to change that value. So I'll change this value to 29.97. And frame start and end, I will change this to like 250, 220 frames is fine. And select an output folder where I can save the files. So I will select a folder quickly. So here I have selected a folder to save the output files. And after that, file format, it should be PNG, and make sure this RGBA is selected to get the alpha channel, or else if this is set to RGB, we won't get alpha. So make sure this is set to RGBA alpha. So here I will render a single frame, and I will show what to do in After Effects. So go to this render. So be on the first frame. So I will render this first frame only. So go to this render and click on this render image. So here my render is done. So it took around 22 seconds. You can analyze what time it will take if I want to render the complete scene. So let's save this frame. So go to this image, save as, I'll save in downloads only. I'll save this as 007 and save this PNG, RGBA, save. Okay. So now come to After Effects. So let's clear this one. So go to this file, new project, close. So let's import our footage. So here we got the footage, and let's import the image. So import. So this is the single file, import, drop it. So first drop the footage onto this composition, and later drop the image onto the footage. So now we got our CGI bottles here. After that, if you want to do color correction, you can do that, add bit of noise and blur to make it look realistic. So in this way we can create this kind of CGI advertisement videos in Blender and After Effects easily. So hope you guys have learned something new from this tutorial. If you have learned anything new, please like, share and subscribe my channel to support me. So we'll meet in the next video. Until then, signing off. Take care. Bye.